Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Mata.
Hare Krishna. Let's start with that. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Gadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hariharaya Nama Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Hariharaya Nama Krishnaya Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Govindaya Namaha Sri Krishna Hari Bol Gopala Hari Bol Radha Ramana Govinda Hari Bol Sri Krishna Hari Bol Gopala Hari Bol Radha Ramana Govinda Hari Bol Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai. So welcome you all to the level 2 class of Bhagavad Gita, and today we are continuing chapter number 12 part 2. Okay, so yesterday, a quick recap. Arjuna asked Lord Krishna about which type of bhakti is more suitable, for which Lord Krishna said it is the personal bhakti which is more suitable for a devotee to progress in spiritual journey. Okay, and we also learn about the differences between impersonal bhakti and the personal bhakti. In personal bhakti also, Lord has given us the four ways by which we can connect to him. One is doing personal service to the Lord. Second, following the four regulative principles. Third is working for, yeah. And fourth is
giving up all results of your work, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very good. So these are the four type of devotion service what we can render to the God for further progress in the bhakti. Okay. So it can be, see, the giving up of result, the sacrifice what we are doing, it can be complete or it can be partial also. Okay. So here are some practical examples like social service, community service, nation service. Yes, all these things we do it, but that is on the material aspect. But on the spiritual aspect, we have to work ourselves for the service of the Lord. That's how it's going to help us. Yeah. Anybody wanted to recite this sloka and translation? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
Can I do?
Prabhu.
12.2. श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्म फलस्त्यागश्शान्तिरपैः अनन्तरम्. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, for by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind. If you cannot take this to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, or by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind. Bhagavad Gita 12.3. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, knowing about him and having a knowledge about the Lord, better than that is renouncing the results of the work what we done towards Krishna. Okay. So, can somebody please volunteer to read this also?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Cultivation of knowledge, meditation and renunciation of fruits. Mind fixed on Krishna. Follow regulative principles of sadhana bhakti. Work for Krishna. Giving up results of your work. And two kinds of devotional service. Uh, way of regulative principles and way of full attachment in love of Godhead. Which means if you cannot engage yourself in working for Krishna, then cultivation of knowledge, Brahma Yagna, knowledge of soul, result of knowledge, one understands his real position, knowledge will develop to meditation, then one can gradually understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By renunciation, fruits better than meditation. Why renunciation of fruits is mentioned as better than meditation, and that's although Karma Yoga is the lowest on the yoga ladder, Krishna says that it is better than meditation because it is more practical and does not disturb the mind with harsh and impractical requirements. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The same thing, the point number 11, and here it's the same thing, you just have to partly, if not completely also, if you're able to renounce the results, then automatically you're working for Krishna. So these are the different progressive stages of bhakti. That is, fix your mind upon Krishna, will live in relationship with the Krishna, follow regulated principles of sadhana bhakti, develop desire to attain Krishna, and work for Krishna will come to a stage of devotion service and renunciation, cultivation of knowledge and meditation. That is purification, peace, and gradual elevation. Yeah. Mm. Anybody can please volunteer to read this?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, you can read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead can be reached through two processes, direct process and gradual development. Direct process, devotional service in Krishna consciousness, gradual development, renouncing the fruits of one's activities, come to the stage of knowledge, followed by meditation, to the stage of understanding the Super Soul, and finally to the stage of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any of the processes may be taken. The direct process is not possible for everyone, therefore, indirect process is also good. But for Arjuna, already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord, indirect method is not suggested. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of super soul and Brahman should be followed. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So ideally, Lord says, follow the direct process. Don't go for the indirect process. That is impersonal bhakti. Okay. So qualities that endears one to Krishna. So what are those qualities which will make us go nearer to Krishna? Yes, Manush Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, 12.13 and 14. Advishta sarvabhutanam maitrah karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukhakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dudha nischayah mayarpita mana buddhi yamad bhakta same priyaha.
Yes,
One
Prabhu.
who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service, who is determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Bhagavad Gita 12.13 and 14. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So always think of him and who is free from false ego. That means no attachment, material attachment, and he's both in equal as well as happiness and a distressful situation, tolerant, satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with a determination. His mind and intelligence are fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Okay.
The Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of pure devotee. He is never disturbed in any circumstances, never envious of anyone, has no enemies, thinks the enemy has become one due to his own past misdeeds, prefers suffering in protesting. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-8. Tatate nukapamso samaikno Unjene Vivatma Kritam Vyapakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks the suffering he has got is much less than deserved. Hare Krishna Mata.
Continue, Prabhu.
Thinking so is always calm, quiet, and patient, equiposed even in distress. A devotee is also always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirmama does not attach much importance to the pains and trouble pertaining to the body. Not being body conscious does not have false ego or false ego. Satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Not endeavoring much to achieve something with great difficulty is always joyful. A perfect mystic faithfully following the instructions received from the spiritual master. Determined eye approach with senses perfectly controlled. These rare qualities are developed by following the regulative principles of devotional service. His mind and intelligence are fixed eternal Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna, it's the same thing again. The mind is fixed upon the Lord's and is free from false ego, and whatever the happiness and distressful situation is there, he is undisturbed by any of that, and rather he will understand that if some disturbing situation is there, it is for his own growth and all, and he take it as a blessing of the God. So likewise, he don't waste in any of these material speculations. Rather, he would fix his mind only on thinking about the Lord and doing his service. Okay. Take all sufferings as Krishna's kindness to avoid reactions, you know. In this, I just wanted to tell you one story. Kunti Maharani in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, you know. When Lord Krishna says now that everything is settled down and you got your kingdom, so my work is completed in Hastinapur, let me leave to Dwarka. Okay. Kunti with a heavy heart, she will go to Lord Krishna and she will say, you know, I was not aggrieved so much when my husband left me. and I was sent to forest along with my kids, and my Pandavas has to go to forest for 13 years, and not much agreed when Draupadi was disturbed in the Duryodhana's courtyard, as well as my in the recent past when the Ashwadama killed all my grandchildren. So I was not aggrieved by any of this situation, Krishna. But the moment you are saying that you wanted to leave us and go to Dwaraka, this is causing an intense pain to me. No, I'm not able to tolerate this. Why don't you give me few more difficulties and stay with me? Okay, so Kundi Maharani, she's so she's such a great devotee, and uh that chapter, recently we were all in a Bhakti Vaibhava first batch, so we have to write an exam on 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we were reading in a combined reading, when we are going to the verses, it was so much intense devotion service towards Lord Krishna, that he always is very dear to the devotees who are in extreme pain and distressful situation. Never ever thinking what Lord has done to me. He's totally done injustice to me. I've been put in such a distressful situation. It's not like that. Please think about Kunti Maharani in those situations, So, Kunti, how much difficulty she has faced in her all life, many distressful situation, isn't it? So, then she says like that, please give me few more difficulties and stay back, Krishna. And Krishna says no. Now that the term, uh, whatever the acts, what I have to do in this avatar for this particular period is completed. Now I have to move to the Dwaraka for further journey. Okay. So, why I'm saying this is take all sufferings as Krishna's kindness. Why? Because when we are going through a very intense, deep, emotional, painful situation, which we think that we cannot handle it by any means, and which we think that why God has given me this sort of a situations in my life is in turn a blessing, blessing in a disguise, because of course our emotions will be very low. We will not be in a position to know what's going on in our life and all, but trust me, it is a blessing of the Lord. But it's a matter of time. Ultimately, you will come to know eventually. Okay. So hope I'm clear. Anybody has any doubt at this point? Or do you disagree with that? Hare Krishna.
Agree, Mataji.
Any doubt? Or personally, anyone have a realization regarding this situation? They can share in this platform. So a simple example, like if you are doing bhakti, we are attending Bhagavad Gita classes and doing and chanting. So maybe our very near and dear friends, our own family members may say us like, what is this? They may try to discourage us by many means, But, you know, how much we are benefited, we only know about it, isn't it or not?
Yes, Mataji,
Yes,
you are
Mataji.
saying correct, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, likewise, whatever the suffering is coming, please keep it in our mind. Whatever type of suffering, whether it's a physical, mental, or emotional, financial, any sort of a suffering which you are facing in your life, take it as a God's plan. There is something good, it's going to happen. Don't ever try to lose your heart for these things, and trust Lord and do the sadhana. Ultimately, you will come out of this situation. So that is the ultimate thing I wanted to say you all. Okay.
Sometimes these sufferings are also planned so that it's a test of how much faith we have in the Lord, how much
Yes,
we keep on doing our work without wondering what will be the end result.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. So many situations we do face like that, why and what. Sometimes we don't know the answers. We just have to trust the process and go ahead and trust Krishna will take care of everything.
Yes, if that faith is there, and then definitely the path also comes out. He leads
Yes, Prabhu.
the way, he shows the path, but then he makes you work for it.
Yes, Prabhu. That is true. Yeah. Non-envious, kind to everyone, even to his enemy. We should be because in the material plane we feel that these people are enemy, these are not our friends and all this. But otherwise, everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna. So don't have any such ill feelings towards the other people. Consider all reactions as the result of one past misdeeds. Um and take distress as a lost mercy I deserve. Santushta, that is satisfied, whatever comes by the Lord grace, does not over endeavor to achieve something, and no sense of proprietorship. Dhrida Nishchaya, tolerant, never disturbed by any circumstances, and self-control, completely perfect mystic because completely fixed in instructions of spiritual knowledge. Okay. So, devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and troubles of the body, free from false ego, equipoised in a happiness. So, materialistic plane, we should keep it aside and we should not bother much, even if some amount of illness is coming. So, it's a body, it will come, seasonal thing, it will come and it will go. Nothing to worry about that. We should fix our mind upon doing the sadhana. The rest of the thing will be taken care by Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please recite the sloka.
तत्ते अनुकंपम समीक्षामनु भुजानायवात्मा कृतं विपाकं हिद्वाग् वपुर्वि विदधान नमस्ते जीवत यो मुक्ति पदे सदा अयगभग.
I think this
My
is
dear
60
Lord,
Prabhu.
I can say SV 10.14.8.
Yes, Prabhu, this is 11 meter sloka. I
Okay.
mean, the meter you have to change. Tattenukampanam susameksha samano bunjanya evatmritam.
Idvag vapurvi vidadha namaste jive toya mukti pade sadaya bhak. My dear Lord, one who honestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Thought process of a devotee in a distressful condition. What is the thought process? He thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. How this is Lord's mercy? He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater than I am suffering now. By Lord's mercy, I am not getting all the punishment I am due, just getting a little. He thinks this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. Instrument of my karma. What is the result of thinking this way? He is always calm, quiet, and patient despite many distressful conditions. Nor is he envious of anyone or disturbed by their behavior or become his he becomes eligible for liberation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we must think like this, that we are suffering less than what is more destined to, and we are not getting the complete punishment, but getting very little things and all. So somebody is an enemy maybe because of my past deed. So imagine how much our EQ levels has to raise up to think like this. Okay. Only by doing the sadhana that can come. Okay. So if we are daily inculcating all these qualities by doing the sadhana, automatically it becomes easy for us to live. So forget about the mercy of the God and all, but our day-to-day affairs will become easier, and ultimately our sadhana will be not disturbed by anyone, and it go undisturbed and help us to achieve the higher goals. Yes, Prabhu, you can read this sloka again.
यस्मान्नद्विजते लोको लोकान्नद्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगे मुक्तः स च मे प्रियः. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So for whom no one is put into difficulty nor is disturbed by anxiety. Yeah. So the external sources is not affecting him, by the way. It is all our internal sources which make us the way we respond or react to different situation is the cause of suffering, actually. So never ever try to react, try to respond. Okay. If anything is happening, try to analyze the situation on a calmer note and try to take a decision on that. So never cause distress to others, not get affected by others. Okay, because devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness. Material circumstances cannot move him, not disturbed by anyone. Such a stage is obtained by Lord's grace. So he doesn't affect others. No one is put into anxiety, difficulty, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee because he is kind to everyone. So this example of Prahlad Maharaj, he has been put into different sort of difficulties by his own father, but he is not affected by any of this, but he concentrated only on his sadhana. At the same time, his behavior during those time or his suffering is not affecting anyone, and so a true devotee should rise to such a level. Okay. A materialistic person is envious, sorrowful, dejected when others possess something sense gratifying that he does not have. Okay. A devotee is always transcendental to all these disturbances is very dear to Krishna. So we should shift our focus from materialistic thing to the sadhana bhakti. So we should be grateful to whatever we have. So, and we should not strive for the more thing for the comfort of this temporary material body. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. अनपेक्ष शुचि दक्ष उदासीन गतव्यतः सर्वारंभ परित्यागी यमद्भक्त समे प्रियः. A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that's what he is God-centric. Everything is concentrated and surrounded about the God and all, and who does not strive for some result. He does his activities as a service towards the Lord. Such a devotee is very near to me. Okay. A devotee receives the money that he gets to the Lord's grace without any hesitation, but does not over endeavor for it. But twice a day, rises early in the morning for devotion service and clean from inside and outside. A devotee is expert in all activities and has a full faith in all authoritative scriptures. A devotee is unbiased above all pains and all designations. A body is also a designation. He is free of bodily pains and suffering. Never endeavors for anything against the principles of devotion service, will not venture into any activity that does not advance him in devotion service. He will make all effort to build a temple of the Lord, but he will never construct a big house for his person, relationship, or a person use. So I think this is self-explanatory that where should we channelize our energy and our focus on. Yes, Prabhu, you can read.
यह न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि नो शोचति न कांक्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान यः समे प्रियः. One who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments or not desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, yeah, basically the happiness or pleasure is the same for them, and they are not renounced for any auspicious and inauspicious things. So basically they remain Siddha Prajnata, they remain the calm and quiet, and so such people are very dear to Krishna. So, to one who is eager to be transferred to the spiritual world, knowledge is to give by the Supreme Lord situated in everyone's hearts. One must surrender on to the Supreme. So a devotee is not affected by any of the material manifestations or the emotions. And he's transcendental in all kind of auspicious, inauspicious and sinful things, prepare all kind of a risk for Lord's satisfaction. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of devotional service. So a devotee, the most essential quality from which all other qualities appear. So he neither laments or desire, not anxious to get a son or a disciple, nor laments by not getting them. So he don't waste on the materialistic platform. So rather he concentrate on the spiritual platform for further progress in the bhakti. Yes, Prabhu.
समशत्रु च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु समसंग विवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टः येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमति भक्तिमान् मे प्रिय नरः हरे कृष्ण.
One who is equal to his friend and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotion service is very dear to me. Okay, so such a person is very dear to me. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. Devotee is always free from all bad association because you don't have time for all those things because he's following all the four regulative principles. In that way, he's away from all that. Transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress or happiness, speaking of nothing but Krishna. This is also called a type of a silence. Silence doesn't necessarily means not speaking. It also means not speaking nonsense and speaking something of relevance. A devotee is happy in all conditions with regard to food, residence, etc. He's ever satisfied. Underneath a tree, a very palatial building, do not mind, he is attracted to neither. He is fixed in his determination and knowledge. A devotee does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualities, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotion service automatically helps him develop them. Okay. Again, there's the same thing which has been put in a diagram mode that he's equipoised in any of the situation, equal to his friends and enemies, always engaged in devotion service, fixed in determination, maintain the silence and doesn't care for any residence and free from contaminating associations, satisfied, happy in all conditions, sometimes get palatable food and sometimes not. So Krishna consciousness and the good qualification. One who want to be recognized as a devotee should develop all good qualities. Of course, one does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualities because engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotion service automatically helps one develop them. One who is not a devotee has no good qualifications at all. So please keep this in mind and try to do the sadhana in this way, progress further in the bhakti. So qualities that endears one to Krishna, these qualities are not independent of bhakti, they automatically result from surrender to Krishna. Tatastha Lakshanam, ancillary, Swarupa Lakshanam, essential, and Bhaktiman devotee, the most essential quality from which all the qualities appear. Okay, what are those? We will see. Attitude towards oneself, with dealing with other living entities, reaction when things happen to him, and dealing with the Lord. So what are the attitude towards oneself? Nirmana, free from sense of proprietorship, free from false ego, knows that I am not the body, and gatavyataha, pain-free, sarvaramba parityagi, free from all, and non-envious, when we are dealing with other living and non-envious kind of everyone, even to his enemy, equal to friend and enemy, Udasin, without case, always free from contamination. Reactions when things happen to him, satisfied, tolerant, self-controlled, completely perfect mystic, equipoised happiness and distress, anapekshaha, neutral, suchihi, neither rejoice nor grieves over material gain or loss, neither laments nor desires, transcendental in the face of all kind of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful acts, equipoised dualities. So dealing with the Lord is determined in doing service towards Krishna, mind and intelligence fixed entirely on the Lord Krishna, engaging devotion service. So in that way, he can progress further in the bhakti. ये तु धर्मामृतम् इदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धादाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रिया. To the question, who is better, one engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman or one who is engaged in personal service of the Lord? The Lord replied to Arjuna in this way, so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotion service is not only better, but a perfect in process of spiritual realization. Through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotion service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotion service with a faith, attachment, and devotion. Thus become engaged in transcendental service of the Lord. The impersonal conception of supreme absolute truth is recommended by only up to the time one surrendered himself as a self-realization. As long as one does not have a chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. So it is always better to be in a devotee association because they can guide us better in how to progress in the bhakti and all. So if you are not able to find any pure devotee, then impersonal conception may help you to stay in tune in sadhana. So he who follows this imperishable path of devotion service and who completely engage himself with the faith, making it the supreme goal is very, very dear to me. So ultimately, we have taken a shelter of a Lord. So everything should be surrendered onto him. So we should be only thinking about him and doing service towards him. That's how we can give our completely, not a partially. Okay. So if we choose to go for the liberation, so these are the following guidelines we have to follow in the Bhakti Yoga. So to progress further in the Bhakti. So dearest of all is one who makes a Krishna as a goal of his life. They follow him. They follow this imperishable path of devotion service, make Krishna as the supreme goal of their life, completely engage themselves with the faith. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is the ultimate message that we have to make him as the center of attraction of our life and strive towards him by doing the chanting, all devotee association, attending the Mangalarti, attending the Bhagavatam classes, attending the Seva program, different Seva programs which are there in the temple, and try to engage our senses either in some flower service or doing some book distribution, or go to the temple, they will offer you some vegetable cutting service or prasadam distribution. So feel blissfully to do any of the service towards the Krishna. Automatically, he will bestow his mercy upon us to progress further in the bhakti. Okay. Tattenukampam susamiksham Gunjana evatmakritam. Sorry, I think this is 8. Tattenukampam susamikshmano भुञ्जान एवात्मकृतं विपाकम् हृद्वग्वपुर्भे विधानं नमस्ते जीवे तयो मुक्तिपदसे दयाभक्. So, Hare Krishna, this is the end or what? So make Krishna as a center of your life and goal of your life, then automatically everything else will follow. So this is all about a Bhakti Yoga chapter. Let's start with Arjuna's questionnaire to Lord Krishna. Which type of bhakti is more beneficial? Of which, whether impersonal or personal bhakti, of which Lord Krishna says personal bhakti is the most beneficial of all. So what are the different type of a bhakti we have to do? One is service towards the Lord. Second is following the 4 regulative principles. Third is doing service for Krishna. And fourth one is renouncing the acts, what we are doing, the work, what we are doing towards the Krishna. Okay. All these 4, if you are able to do by any means, then automatically you will get attached to Krishna. So who is more dear and the most qualifying person to do the mercy of the Lord is one who is equipped in happy as well as a distressful situation, who is not affected by any of this material manifestation, and his ultimate goal is to please Krishna, and he lying in such a way that all his sadhana is culminating in bhakti towards Krishna. Okay, so these are the few points. So ultimate take home message is that make Krishna as a goal of his life, rest everything he will take care of us. So not to get deviated, make it as a routine. So people who are working, they can devote their early morning hours to Krishna, or people who find it difficult to chanting and all, they can chant when they get up from the bed. Immediately they can wash their face, hand, feet, sit for 10-15 minutes, do some chanting. Before going to bed, they can do some chanting. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner times, they can do at least 1 or 2 rounds. In that way, you can increase the number of chanting. So if you wanted anything from Krishna, if you want his mercy upon us, try to increase your chanting. If not, try to volunteer for any of the temple activity services which are happening. You can come as a volunteer to Mangalore temple, and there is a lot of scope for work on a different planes. Write a mail to Namanish Das Prabhuji, and he can arrange for that. Other thing is that how we can help is arranging for donations for a temple construction which is going on. There are various services which are attached to it. By any means, if we can accumulate, or we can collect the Lakshmi from various sources and make it as a donation to the temple, that is also a type of a service what we are doing towards Krishna. So Krishna's mercy will be bestowed upon all the devotees who are doing a little bit service towards the Krishna. So make it a point, if you wanted to progress further in the bhakti, to do the sadhana towards Lord Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna is all about the 12th chapter. Now we have completed the Bhakti Yoga chapter also. We are left only with the Jnana Yoga chapter from next week onwards. Okay. Any questions? Any realization anybody wanted to share? Please do it. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions, please, they can ask.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Bhakti yoga would mean, that means that one, whether it is happiness or whether it is distress, one should remain the same throughout and should not be disturbed at all. Is that the ultimate goal of Bhakti yoga?
Yes, Prabhu, because when we in a distressful situation, that's something which we are not able to control it, isn't it? But when we know it is the Krishna's plan, and it is something like a weather, say suppose it is raining today, I don't do chanting. It is not raining today, tomorrow I am going to do chanting. So the weather is not affecting our level of chanting or doing the sadhana, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So because even the problems are like that, they come and they go. So that should not affect our sadhana.
But
So
sometimes the problems become insolvable, they break you.
because the greater level of detachment is the ultimate plan of Lord Krishna's Prabhu in that situation. He's trying to make you, because it is your intensity with which you are attached to that particular thing. So Lord is trying to break you from that pattern, which is causing an intense pain on your level. So that is going to benefit you later on. Once you indulge in sadhana, you don't feel that pain is a pain, you will know that I have to deal with it for a certain period of a time. Ultimately, this will be resolved. So I can give you an example of a tuberculosis treatment and a cancer treatment in our the patients who come to our hospitals. So tuberculosis, that goes on depending on the patient condition. If it's a pulmonary lung tuberculosis, a 2 months intensive therapy will be given to kill the bacteria inside. Then there will be a maintenance phase where different set of medicines are there which will maintain the healthy state, so that the TB will not recur back. Similarly, for chemotherapy, we give the chemo cycles for all the different type of cancers they give it. And ultimately, over a period of time, 6 to 8 months, so these people will come out as a healthy individuals. So ultimately, the first and foremost things what these people have to be trained with is having a good immunity. So emotional level or emotional quotient and the ability to handle the stress, if it is good with an individual, so that comes only with a sadhana. Okay, once we are feeding the soul with all this bhakti and all, that realization or the knowledge by which Lord is the supreme protector, because he's protecting us when we are in a mother womb. We haven't opened our eyes, we are not able to breathe anything, and we don't eat on our own also. But all the nutrients are supplied by Krishna, the protection is given by Krishna, and he has taken care of us in such a beautiful way till we came out of a mother womb. When he can protect us there, he will protect us when we are on this earth also. So that faith we have to develop it. So that whatever the distressful situation you are saying, it is a time period, a patient is undergoing a treatment. Definitely he will not feel okay on the day one of a medication, isn't it, Prabhu? So
Yes, Mataji.
as the cycles goes on and all, he will feel better after 2 months, maybe 4 months, maybe 8 months. After certain period of a time, that will know. And he will be as a good example to the society to tell ki if this sort of a disease come to you, it's very easy, simply if you take medications, you will be out of your dangerous disease process, So similarly, the tough situations in a life will come and they will stay for certain amount of a time, and we have to deal with it. See, this material temporary body, someday it has to perish. So, and so are our problems. When we ourselves are temporary, the problems are also temporary. So we should not focus our time or energy on the things which are temporary.
But Mataji, by doing bhakti and sadhana, we may get detached from the problem with the time. But then our near and dear ones are still affected by those problems, and they being affected affect you again in that way.
Um, See, Prabhu, same again, I tell you the same example. When we are giving a chemotherapy, not only the good cancer cells, there are numerous normal cells which are there in and around the cancer cell. They are also affected. Despite being a normal, they are unnecessarily subjected to the chemotherapy because they are surrounding the chemo cells. What is it? The tumor cells. So similarly, the situation, that distressful situation which is coming into our life, it is not only going to affect us in and around the family members or the circle, friend circle, depending on the radius, it will affect all of us. And you just have to keep up your mind in such a way that you should not react to the situation and you should only respond. And if any of your near and dear ones are also in this process, it's your duty to make them comfortable, and that energy and that what do you say ability to handle the situation again, Krishna can give you once you are doing this sadhana.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I'll tell you one example. Don't tell me I'm giving you a personal example, but recently, last year, 2023 March, I'm a doctor in government hospital, ESI hospital. Mine is a central government job, and and my post is I'm transferable any place in India. Okay, so last year I got a transfer to I stay in Hyderabad and I got a transfer to Indore. Okay, it's near about 700 to 800 kilometers away from my place. So I have to leave my place, leave my husband, leave my son. So the only option I have is to what do you say? And I have a son who will turn 18 by this June, and a daughter who is 13-year-old. And my husband job is in Hyderabad, and my parents are here. I have to leave this. So they have given me 1 year extension till my son completes his 12th standard. So once he write his exams are scheduled next month. Once he complete his exams, I have to leave this place. So how do you deal with these situations, Prabhu? Please tell me. How do you suggest?
This situation happened with me also, because I was in the bank on a transfer position, And at one stage, it came that I had to leave my family and my children in a permanent place, and I had to move around for the happiness, for the growth of our children. My parents also were old; they were also staying with me. So shifting them around was a painful exercise. Then children education was also getting disturbed. So ultimately, myself, my wife, and my family, we all compromised on this that I will move around and they'll stay at one place. And periodically, sometimes weekly, sometimes fortnightly, I would come down and meet with them, look at the household affairs, and then go back to my job. And that becomes a part of our work environment where we have to balance out the family and the work both. We cannot live one for the other because work is needed to maintain the family and the family is needed to give you strength and support in the work. So both have to be balanced, Mataji.
Yes. For a man, if he's shifting out, this is the situation. But if the wife is shifting out of the home, so what will be the situation?
I can understand, Mataji. It's become very tough when the uh, when the mother has to move out because mother has got a role of a mother, a wife, and a daughter also. So in all the three roles, she is required at the home place, but at the same time, for the family's sake, she has to work also. So it is becomes very tough for ladies compared to the men. But then ladies are born that way that the Lord has made ladies more tougher than the men. And it is they who give the strength to the family.
So we should take like how I have taken you, I'm telling you. So this is something Krishna's plan is there for me in that place. So I just need to take it as a challenge, accept the challenge, and move to that place and do some service towards the work what I am doing. And so in Hyderabad, I never used to get time to go to the temple and do the service. So there I'm getting a time to go and do the service to the Krishna. So I feel so blissful to go there. So uh, it's not a point of any distress. So learning is there in each and every aspect of our life. So I think we should accept the challenges Lord gives you because there is some blessing in that. Ultimately, it is for our benefit because Lord doesn't want his devotee to suffer. Okay. So we should have the faith in that and move ahead.
Yes, that is there. Lord doesn't want the devotee to suffer, but then Lord puts the devotee to test also to see what is his strength, how much he can take it, how much faith he has,
Yes, Prabhu.
and whether he really has a real faith or then if given the stress, the devotee will break down.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
But
Okay.
Mataji,
So
one
the-
suggestion, if you are moving to Indore anytime, I think after your son's board exams, you'll have to move to Indore. My sister-in-law, brother-in-law, their brother-in-law is a cancer patient, but they're
Okay.
very, very religious. They've built a temple also over there,
Okay.
and I can put them in touch with you also, and it will be a good association for them. They'll be able to learn from you also, and maybe
Sure.
in the process that they'll develop a Krishna consciousness.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. My number is there in the group, Prabhu. I think you can text me whatever you wanted to share the numbers or whatever it is. Okay.
I'll do that, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think if there are no more doubts, we'll end the session for today. And next week, we'll resume with the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you, co-host and participants, for your active participation. See you all on Monday at 7 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shweta Mataji, please take a number of Manoj Prabhu and please assign him, take his opinion on the slokas, whichever chapter he